What's up, guys? Tim Little. Welcome back to Tactical Bass. In today's video, we're doing an afternoon, evening session out on Lake Chickamauga. Should be a good one. Let's go. All right, guys, so today's approach, a lot of these fish are done with the spawn here. So I'm gonna be looking to stay shallow. I wanna try and catch some topwater fish, maybe some worm fish, see if there's some grass up shallow, maybe throw a frog. But my guess is a lot of these fish are gonna be post-spawn, so I'm gonna be targeting those shallow fish, those fish that stay shallow, probably have some fry garters, maybe some fish still on beds. I won't be doing any sight fishing, but should be a fun one. Let's go see if we can catch some bass. That was the most subtle frog bite. All right, we're on the board. That was the most subtle frog bite. Ate that gavacho. Thanks, dude. Coming through just some sparse grass over here, and I saw like a flower move, like a flower stem move, and I just kept walking that frog, and it just slowly sucked it under. No explosion whatsoever. Not a bad start. So I really like throwing a popper in these conditions, something that I can work slower, pop it up, real shallow, make a nice cast, pop it, leave it, let it sit. But back here in this backwater, we have a lot of junk on the water. Lots of little strings of grass, little, just whatever you want to call it, lots of debris in the water. So that's why I'm actually throwing the gavacho, that poppin' frog, because I don't have to worry about those treble hooks getting hung up every cast, and you can't walk or work the bait properly. So that's why I'm running through this shoreline with the frog versus the popper. If there wasn't a lot of stuff on the water, I like that world pop. That thing's really finesse-y popper, has that flash boost in it, so I can work it real slow and tempt those fish into biting. But right now, with all the stuff on the water, I'm going with the braid and the frog. Got that one finally. Thanks, dude. Had to work that super slow. I don't know what the deal is with the bite. Very subtle. Missed, thanks, bud. Missing quite a few fish. I don't know how you missed this. Take your hand and go and slap this bait and tell me if you can miss it or not. It's ridiculous how good these fish are at missing the hooks. Just T-boned. Woo! Trying to get me. Thanks, bud. I wasn't even paying attention on that one. I was just walking the popper and heard the bite. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna make call an audible. I'm gonna run down lake and go fish some main river coves, try and get out. It's starting to rain, like sprinkle, kind of weird, but it's hot, it's muggy, but it's sprinkling. So I'm gonna go see if I can duplicate this pattern downriver. I can look off in the distance and there's sunshine, so it's hard to film in the rain with the microphone and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna make some adjustments, run south, and see if we can keep catching them. Drop shot bass. Thanks, dude. It was on that magic worm. All tangled up. Let's see what we got here. What's nice about throwing it on the bait caster is you can throw a lot heavier line. Just seems like you have a lot more command or control over those fish when they're close or in the wood like this. this guy right here. This one's called Missile Morning. Hey, I got you. Got that drop shot. Thanks, dude. The one downside of the drop shot, they start jumping and they really mangle the bait. Thanks, bud. He T-boned that thing. Nice little world pop fish. Thanks, bud. Actually throwing this thing. It's a tournament it's a legend tournament, St. Croix, but it's a 6/8 medium extra fast. It's nice throwing this little popper on this short rod. You can make nice little accurate casts, little roll casts. But that guy just came out of that shadow and just obliterated that popper. That was really cool. Missed it. That guy came out hot on it. Just missed it. Just nipping the tail. Let's see if I can catch that guy. Here he comes. I got something for him. Got him. Thanks, bud. Not sure if you can hear me over that lawnmower, but that bass came out of that dock twice after my world pop and just came up and just barely nipped it. So I think that was my second cast or third cast with the Karashi, and again just came out and just sucked it in just barely, and I got one hook inside the mouth. Pretty cool. Another one. Thanks, dude. Missed one on the popper. Threw the Karashi back in there. Got that little guy. Nice one. That one ate the Senko dead stick. That was on the bottom for probably a good 45 seconds, a minute or so. Thanks, dude. All right, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Fun afternoon, evening session out on the water. Caught, I don't even know how many we caught. It was a lot of fun. Once I got in on those docks, I caught a few on this guy right here. Again, this time of the year, this is my go-to finesse. This is it's a drop shot, but I have it rigged on a bait caster with a straight shanked hook. Straight shank hook. I'll show you this real quick. The reason that I like this setup, see that guy is right there? Sorry, I got the sun in my back, but the reason I like this setup is you never know if you're gonna hook into a giant around some of this flooded cover. So the lake is almost full pool, which means there's a lot of debris in the water, a lot of brush piles, a lot of lay downs. And so I can flip that, I'm gonna call it a power shot, but it's basically a heavy drop shot, heavy line drop shot. The weight itself is still only a 1/4 ounce, but I can flip and pitch that around and not worry about if I do set on a 4, 5, or 7 pounder, it's gonna own me into the stuff and I can't get it out. So I got this rigged up. It's braid to leader and I have a 15-pound fluorocarbon leader on that. Caught quite a few fish on that today. I don't know, 4 or 5 maybe. And then talk about this one real quick, because that last fish I caught was a super nice fish. And it was interesting. I was going along that shoreline, caught it on a Senko, and that's that new Hayabusa, basically wacky rig hook. I really like it. It's got that fluorocarbon weed guard on there, so it allows me to fish again around and through this stuff. But what was going on over there was there was a long laydown that went out into the lake, probably about 50 or 60 feet. And as I was fishing the Karashi along the shoreline, I noticed that there was a nice bass suspended on one of the branches. And then I noticed that there was a little fry swimming around. So I assumed that that fish was guarding its fry. You know, a lot of times this time of the year, when those fish are coming off the beds, you're in that post-spawn transition. You have the fry, the little baby bass swimming around, and you typically have the buck bass, the males, swimming around and guarding those. And that's actually what I think I was catching a lot in that dock cove on the Karashi and the popper, but we'll get back to that in just a second. But turned around, positioned the boat just out of distance, and I threw that wacky rig Senko out there. This is actually the wrong color. I was throwing electric shad, but when that fish tail walked to the boat, it threw the bait off. So I put this one on there. That's 301. But basically, I learned this trick a few years ago up when I was fishing in Wisconsin in clear water, smallmouth fishing. We were skipping docks in maybe 18 inches of water, super shallow docks. But you'd skip your Senko up under there and you'd let it sit for 45 seconds to a minute. You'd shake it one time and let it sit. Maybe another 30 seconds, it would go doop. You reel down and set, it'd be a 4.5 to 5.5 pound smallmouth. They're sitting there staring at it. So I saw that log, I threw this Senko out there and I let it just sit there. I'm watching my line, I see that it's on bottom, and then I just reel my slack up just enough so there's a slight bow in my line, and I just hold it there. And then, like I said, maybe 45 seconds to a minute into it, it just went doop, and then started taking off. I reeled down, it was that, I don't know, 3.5 pounder or so. But really cool technique if you're fishing a piece of cover that you know fish are on. A lot of times fishermen will fish too fast. I'm guilty of it. You know, if you just throw that bait out there and just let it sit, every once in a while, just hop, hop, let it sit. Those fish just kind of come over, Wait, nose down. Doop. You get them. So the other cool baits today were this dynamic duo. I got the World Pop and the Karashi. You guys have heard Matt talk about this bait a lot lately. So basically I was in that bay, in that cove. It wasn't a bay, it was a cove, and it had like 8 or 10 docks in it, and there was shade. It was the sun was setting, but there was still some shade underneath those docks. So I was just throwing this World Pop around the docks, and a couple of them just came out of those docks just full speed and just obliterate it. I had one that 2 or 3 different casts I threw back in this little cut behind this dock, and I was walking it, and it came out on it real hot, and then would just barely suck the back end down or just nip at it. It's acting really weird. So I turned around and threw the Karashi at it, and it came out, same thing, came out real hot and then kind of nipped at it. But this little finesse bait is so finessey, it nipped at it and got the hook, and I was able to catch that fish and then turn around the very next cast, throw across the channel and catch another one. So pretty cool. The Karashi, throwing that on a BFS setup, and then that World Pop, talked about it a little bit ago. That's that 6'8" medium extra fast. It's a really cool rod because it's short, it's light. You can make those nice little underhand roll casts around docks and that sort of stuff. But all in all, a great afternoon, evening out on the water. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I will link all the baits and the gear down below in the video description. We appreciate you, and we will see you on the next video.